Productions is back again with a new video, and today we are going to cover NCRT History Chapter 3 of Class 6. We will be discussing the question answers of this particular chapter, and before we will be doing a quick summary, a quick recap of the chapter. So let's move on. So we will be reading about Harappa and what was so special about this particular city. Okay. So first of all, Harappa is presently in modern day Pakistan, and it was a place that was discovered very suddenly. Okay, uh, because when the East India Company was doing the construction of the railway lines in the 1856, then they got to know about this site. Okay, however, initially the construction workers they thought just that the the ruins are some of the ordinary old city, and they used to take the bricks from the site and to use that in the purpose of construction. Okay, however, it was about 80 years ago that archaeologists, however, especially they realized that it was an ancient city. And let's talk about some other cities of that particular date frame. There is Mohenjo-daro, Kalimangan, Lothan, and Dhoravira. And these are some of the very important sites of Indus Valley civilization, and these were all discovered about till date. There has been around 150 sites that has been discovered of this particular civilization, that is Indus Valley civilization. And most of the sites are in modern day Pakistan. Just we discussed about Harappa, and some of the sites are in India, like Kalimangal is presently in northern Rajasthan, Banawali in Haryana, Dholavira in Gujarat, and Lothan again in Gujarat. Okay. Um, After excavation from different sites, it actually becomes very clear that this civilization was spread over major parts of Western India. Okay. And Pakistan and even some parts of Afghanistan also the sites were present. Moving ahead. So what was so special about this city? The speciality is about how the towns were being laid, the whole planning and the whole strategy of laying down the plan. Okay. So the town planning was very, very immaculate. And the entire city of Harappa was divided into two parts. One is the western part and the other is the eastern part. Okay. Western part was the upper part, and the eastern part where the lower was the lower part. And western part was called as the citadel. Okay. And in here in the western part, a huge tank has been found within the citadel, and it was named as the Great Bath by the archaeologists because this was made from baked brick. All right, and mostly rich people lived in the upper part of the city, that is the citadel, and workers lived in the lower part of the city, that is the eastern part. Okay, so the traces of used baked bricks have been found, and and what this baked bricks was used for the construction of houses and other structures as well. And if you see if you see the sizes of these bricks, it was very, very uniform. And that indicates that the people of Harappa, they had developed good workmanship. Okay, moving ahead, and let's talk about the roads and drainage, how strategically they used to plan this as well. So roads were paved with brick, and the drainage system was again very properly planned, and there was a drain from each house that was connected to the drains in the city. Houses were again very well planned. Okay, they were strong and thick, and some even houses had 2 stories high. Just like today, we have so many stories in the houses. Okay, and which showed actually how well developed architecture was that there in those period of time. Talking about granaries, so a large granary has also been found in the city of Indus Valley civilization, and charred grains have also been found, which shows that the food grain production was very, very surplus due. Okay, and it is just suggested, and it is a guess from historians that taxes were also collected in the forms of grain because it was in surplus. Okay, and grains collected at tax were then stored in such large granaries. There has been storage houses that also has been found. Okay. So how was the life of the people? So there were many occupations that existed in these cities, like there were crafts persons, there were traders. So these craft person used to make what clay. They used to use clay, copper, and bronze to make pots. Okay, and and some of the time, many of the tools and weapons and seals were made from copper and bronze, and the seals were made from clay. Some large pots have also been found, and these pots have been used for storing grain. We could also find the jewelries that were made of gold, beads, wood, and clay. There has been some precious stones that has also been found, like carnelian, jasper, crystal, and these precious stones were used to make beads. Okay, toys made of terracotta were being also in prominence. Clay and wood was also used for making toys. There has been ornate carvings can be seen on toys, pots, and jewelry. Then talking about trade. So trade again was a very main occupation of the people of Harappa. People used to bring materials from distance of places. They would go to bring copper from Rajasthan and from Oman. Okay, and some of these fields from Harappa have actually been found in Mesopotamia, which actually suggests that there used to happen the trade, and that is why a kind of a link also existed between Harappa and Mesopotamia. Okay, and in Gujarat, a place called Lothal, it was a city. A dockyard has been discovered. Again, this suggests that there was a trade through sea route that was existing at that period of time. Okay, then people were farmers as well, and the remains of charred grains have been found, which shows that wheat, barley, pulses, pea, rice, sesame, linseed, mustard, these were all grown in the villages of Harappan civilization. Okay, and a plow has also been found, a toy model plow, which actually shows that plow was again used for tilling the land. And there has been many animals, domesticated animals have been also found from the excavation site, which suggests that people used to domesticate cattle, sheep, goats, buffaloes, and pigs. Let's discuss some other aspects of their life. So, historians also suggest that in order to run the city of Indus Valley civilization, there was some kind of a administration that was there, okay, that was existing. And it is possible that they must be having a committee of people so that that committee could look after the administration. Okay, people also used to entertain themselves, and it is very much evident from the toys and statues that has been found from the site. Okay, and seals from the Arappa side shows um, a certain kind of a script on this. Okay, and which if this suggests that people knew how to write. Okay, then there were gods and goddesses that people worshipped. There has been many statues have been found. So this figure that has been found is very much similar to the Hindu god Lord Shiva. Okay, moving ahead. So how did this great and and very, you know, kind of be the way they have planned their town system and drainage and everything, it shows very how strategizing it was. So how these people who have such craft, they declined and they disappeared. So it is actually a mystery over the decline of Harappan civilization, and people gives different suggestions and guesses about their decline. Ha- So the Harappan civilization suddenly declined, okay, around 3900 years ago. And we find broken roads and clogged drains, which which just indicates that there was decline in infrastructure, because people of that time, they had a very well planned road system, drainage system. Okay. However, talking about what made the disappearance and what made the decline of this Harappan civilization, it is not very clear, but there are some guesses. So let's know about such of those guesses. So there is a possibility that the rivers dried up. And because the rivers dried up and we know water is a necessity, water is essentiality, people had to move to some other place. And we know the earlier people used to usually live around the banks of the river. Okay. Then secondly is that there were too many brick kilns and furnaces. So it actually may have damaged. Just today we talk about global warming. Okay. So it may have damaged the environment, and that would have led to deforestation. And because people used to domesticate their animals, and because of the lack of grassland, people were forced to move to some other place. This is another one guess. Okay. Then thirdly is that actually the since people used to domesticate the animals, these animals actually overgrazed, and it resulted in the loss of forest. And again, deforestation, desertification actually happened, and the people had to move to other place. Okay. Then a last possibility is that there might hit a natural calamity must have been hit, and there must be a large scale epidemic, and that could have wiped off the major population of uh, the society, or that civilization. Okay, so these are the guesses. Now let's look at our question and answer. So the very first question is, how do archaeologists know that cloth was used in Harappan civilization? So actually, it has been found from various places. The bits and actual pieces of clothes have been found in the form of that those clothes were attached to the lids of a silver vase or some copper object at Mohenjo-daro. And so this suggests that people knew about the cloth and people were using cloth. Okay, and even they have found spindle words and that were made of terracotta and faience, and these were used to set the thread. Okay, we have discussed what science is in the earlier video. If you haven't watched it out, go and watch the full video. We have discussed what science is. All right, moving ahead to the next question. Match the column. So here, copper, gold, then precious stone. We just discovered that people used to move to distant places to bring the raw materials. So copper was brought from Rajasthan, gold from Karnataka, tin from Afghanistan, precious stone from Gujarat. Okay, so copper Rajasthan, CR, just like class representative. GK, Gold Karnataka. You can just make your own mnemonic to just learn it out. Okay. Then Afghanistan, Precious Stone, and Gujarat, PG. All right. So the third question is, why were metals, writing, the wheel, and the plow important for the Harappa? So why these things were important for the Harappa? So metals were essential for making tools, weapons, ornaments, and vessels. Then writing was there because we see on seals also scripts are there, and also writings was there to maintain the record. And then wheels were used as a means of transport. Okay, then plowing again was in use for tilling the land so that farming could be done. So these were essential things for the people of Hong Kong. Okay, moving ahead. Question number 4. Make a list of all the terracotta toys shown in the lesson. Which do you think children would have enjoyed playing the most? So, toys have been found in various forms and figurines, like in animal figures, wheeled vehicles have been found, toy plow have been found. So, it must be there that the children would have enjoyed playing the wheeled vehicles the most. Okay. Then we have the next question. Make a list of what the Harappans ate and put a tick mark against the things you eat today. So the Harappans they used to eat rice, wheat, barley, pulses, mustard, peas, linseed, and today also we use all of them. Okay, moving on. So the very last question is, do you think that the life of farmers and herders who supplied food to the Harappan cities was different from that of the farmer and herders you read about in chapter 3? Give reasons for it. Okay, so how was the life very different? Okay, both are talking about the Harappan cities and talking about the farmers and hunters. So, herders, sorry. In Harappa, the farmers and herders actually they did agriculture and domestication of animals in a very organized way, and then they sold their surplus to meet other demands such as clothing, that etc. While the farmers and herders that we're talking about in the chapter 3, they were producing all of these things only for their own purpose and not And it has been not suggested that they have the surplus and that is why they are selling, okay, and the trade is happening. However, they are producing it for their own sake. All right, this is clear. The difference is clear. Thank you so much for listening to me very patiently. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much.